One of the security detail on my security detail said this morning, he said, we were talking about how good Google is getting, I think is how it was, how good Google is getting. Somebody was in the car and they were Googling something, and he said, I just typed in the first 3 letters. Oh, I remember what it was. He said, I went to Ed's Chowder House last night, and he said, I was going to tell somebody about it, but I wanted their address. And he said, so I just put in ED. Now, ED could come up with a lot of stuff. Certainly one of the last things it comes up with is Ed's Chowder House, right? Mm-hmm. He got ED and it filled in the rest. Ed's Chowder House. And he's like,
wow.
What the hell is that?
Wow.
Because his GPS, he had searched in GPS, where's Ed's Chowder House? Man. It tied it together. Security guy says to me, oh, no, I got something better. He said, we were having a discussion whether or not, what was it, chai latte or something has caffeine in it. And he said, we were standing in the kitchen and somebody Googled does, that was it. And it filled in chai latte. It's now listening to you. That's exactly what Ray Kurzweil said would happen. He contends, he's like, Glenn, there's no other way. There's no other way.
That is so creepy.
So creepy.
I mean, come
so
on.
Creepy. And that's what Ray Kurzweil said they were working on and would do. He said it would listen to you. It would be able to see what...
Is that literally true, though, Ken? Is your iPad listening to you?
He said there is... I don't know if it was an iPad. He said there was no way. He said they sat around and they tried to figure out. He said there was no way that thing... I mean, doesn't fill into that.
Unless you've searched on it before.
That's what he said.
It will remember that.
Right. He said that's what he said. He said it wasn't mine. He said the person who searched, I said, come on, you had to search for it before. And they're like, no, I've never searched for that before.
Had anybody with that tablet searched that before?
No, it was a personal phone. Now, I did it. I went to my office. I was like, do cats suck as much as I think? And I'm staring at my tablet. Do cats suck as much as I think?
And then you typed in
do, nothing. Cats, nothing.
Maybe it has to be a Google.
Maybe I don't know.
Appliance?
I don't know. That's what he said. But I don't know if that's true. He said, I don't know if that's true. He said, Glenn, we tried to figure out any other way. He said, but isn't that what Ray Kurzweil said was coming? And I said, yeah, but I don't think it was supposed to happen yet. But it is getting. I mean, look at the Ed's Chowder House. It is following you. It's following you. Look at the things.
It's learning.
It's learning from you. Look at the things that you might search for, and then look at the ads. Has anybody noticed there's an awful lot of Glenn Beck ads out there? There's like a ton of Glenn Beck ads out there. No, there's really not. There's really not. It's just that if you've ever written in your emails, you've ever searched for me or anything else, the ads follow you.
Oh, man, you should see my email when I search for something. Everything's Belize. everything it's funny. And by the way, I think my computer, I don't want to break news to my wife here in the program, but I think my computer is pretty convinced I'm gay, because I put in does really? And the first result is does he like me, and then there's another one on there that says does he love me. And I don't feel like I'm asking the computer that often those questions.
Is this the computer that your wife is using?
But listen to these bizarre results.
No.
Does he like me?
I think you need to answer that question.
I also have, does he like me?
Oh, you do have that as well?
Yeah. And then the second one is, does UPS deliver on Saturday? I
have that too. And then you have the third one, does ginseng grow in Texas? Who the hell is asking that question?
I don't have that, but I do have, does rice have gluten? So they're following my wife.
I have, oh my gosh, listen to this. I have, it's Yahoo. Listen to the difference, because I'm like, this doesn't even work. Mine was, I just typed in does, and I get Yahoo search just does. The next one is, what does chupacabra mean?
What?
I know. Then the next one is, does P90X work? Like, I'm typing that in.
I do believe you may have typed that.
And then the next one is, what does the fox say?
That shows you how bad Yahoo is.
I mean, Yahoo is just not not happening. Just not happening.
Do you ever use, you do use Google search, right?
Only when I have to type it in. Only when I get things like that. And I'm like, okay, all right.
Well, that's all the time with Yahoo.
I rarely use Google.
It's like Lycos from 1998.
Not one of the largest sites on the internet, of course.
Yahoo?
Lycos?
Yes, but you don't want to use it as a search engine.
Yeah, you use it mail, and there's a lot of other things it does very well. It's not.
Yeah, yeah.
No, you know, the problem is Google does almost everything very, very well. And so except apparently load for me right now. Google does almost everything very well. And so, you know, it's like, why, you know, how many people do you know that Google is really bad but has Google Mail? You do, don't you, Stu?
I do, yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily, like, it's a weird thing because my issue with Google is not Google. My issue with Google is Google working with the government. I don't want companies of that size with that much information. But I do not have a problem with what they do. And you're right, they do everything well.
Yeah.
Every single product they release is better than almost every other product on the market.
Mine is not really about, my problem is not Google. My problem is they're in with the government as well. But also, I guess that's changing a bit. I have a problem that they're not really looking at the ethics of things. They're just like, hey, can we listen to people and just have it predict exactly what they're saying, and then you know, show up,
and then just good things will happen.
And good things will happen. Yes. Guys, I don't think that's a good idea.
My favorite response was when you asked Eric Schmidt, what happens if you guys walk out of this studio and get hit by a truck? Okay, let's assume that you two are both benevolent, wonderful leaders, and you want the best for the world and the country. What happens to you, you know, when you're gone? What about the next guy? What if he's evil?
Well, that just can't happen.
Because
the people are too good at Google, and we have a culture here that's really fostering good people and goodness and wonderfulness.
Let's put this into perspective.
Really?
Put this into perspective.
Where were you born, man?
I know. What was it that he was talking about there too? I gave the reference of IBM and the Holocaust. IBM was helping Hitler round up Jews, and I mean, IBM was really instrumental in a lot of this stuff. And I said, well, what about IBM? Well, that can't happen with us. We have good people. Oh, okay. No. So IBM was full of monsters? Is that what it was?
Assumption, I suppose.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Got it. No, it's usually when it's that slippery slope. All of a sudden, you're just you go down that unfortunate road.